everybody. It's Chris Eads, otherwise known as Wootini, here with another Gay Gamer video podcast. This week, I did not actually go to the movies. I did want to see the menu, but the theaters were all way too crowded because, everybody's going back to the movies now, and it's in smaller theaters at AMC because the big theaters are still showing Black Panther. So it's in smaller theaters that are filling up quite a bit. And I'm just like, I can wait a week and I'll go next weekend when the crowds are less, because I don't need to go to opening weekend for everything. Now I can kind of let things slide and go see them later. Because there's no spoilers, not like a Marvel movie where you got to go opening weekend, otherwise people will spoil it. And as for games, I know that a lot of people, because I went to play Animal Crossing, and suddenly I saw there was 15 of my friends were playing Switch, and I was like, why is everybody all of a sudden on their Switch? And I was like, oh right, there's a new Pokemon game out. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out, and everyone is playing that, except me. Because as you know, if you watch these, I'm not a big Pokemon fan. I did try Pokemon Legends Arceus, and it was fine, it was okay, I was sort of enjoying it. But I've never finished it. I got distracted by my PS5 showing up, but then I never went back to it. I did go back to it briefly, but then it was like, okay, now go do this whole long mission. And I was like, But anyway, everyone else is playing Pokemon right now, and I hope that they are enjoying it. Except that I know from social media that they may have rushed this one out, and it was not quite finished because people are posting the most hilarious bugs online. Stuff where you're throwing a Pokeball and it pauses in midair as the background pops in and loads and renders, and which is weird because Pokemon Legends Arceus was also an open world game and it seemed to look fine to me as I was playing it. I didn't notice anything super egregious. So I'm not really sure why this one they couldn't just do that same thing again. But I think my favorite is the twitchy people. Those are kind of hilarious to me. And I don't know if these are game-breaking visual bugs or whatever, and if everyone is experiencing them. I can't imagine that everyone is experiencing them because I feel like I'd see even more complaints about it. So it seems like maybe not everybody is experiencing this and most people are okay. But it's still really funny to see. But yeah, I'm not going to be playing Pokemon. I am currently, as you recall from last episode, I am playing God of War from 2018. Not the new one that everyone else is playing, Ragnarok. I am playing the original 2018 God of War because I never got around to it, but it was in my game library from being free on PlayStation Plus a while back. And I'm glad I didn't give first impressions last episode because they've changed completely since then. Because I'd only been playing it for a day or two. And the first chunk of the game, it's very linear. And I'm like, this is fine. There's some upgrades that you can do to your weapons and armor and stuff, but it's still very linear. There's a little bit of you can go on this path over here. And it's almost frustrating because when it's that linear, because you're like, well, do I go left or right? And so you start to go right and you're like, no, this is going for too long. So let me go back and go left because that's going to be the shorter path to whatever bonus treasure or items that I can get. And then I'll go back and go right so that I can continue the path to the story. But I got to the witch's house and she's like, hey, you can exit through my cave below, and here's a compass to help you navigate to your goals. And I was like, navigate where? It's super linear, woman. What are you giving me a compass for? How am I going to get lost? But that is because in the cave there's all this stuff that you can't do yet. So I'm like, okay, clearly there's going to be some kind of fast travel coming up later so that I can come back here to do these other things once I'm able to. And once you leave the witch's cave, you come out into a lake, and then all of a sudden it's much more open, and it's not an open world, but you can go over here to do your main story, or you can go over to one of these other islands or things and whatever. There's all kinds of like little things to do, little side stories and side quests and whatnot, things to find and discover. And of course I went and did all of those before I continued because I can't resist. And of course, while doing them, there's stuff that I couldn't do, and I'm like, now I'm gonna have to come back here too, and this is so annoying. And there was one battle that like I was like, I died a couple times, and I was like, okay, we'll come back to this. But after I did a bunch of other stuff, I came back to it, and then I kicked its ass instead, and it was fun. And then I finished that side quest, and I was like, yay. And then I went back to the main quest. At which point, the enemies were like much easier because I was apparently supposed to do that first, maybe? I don't know. They weren't like so hard that you were like, no, I'm not meant to be doing this yet. But they were challenging, more so than the main quest because I'd already upgraded a bunch, so that was a little bit easier. So that was nice, especially when facing off against like a big giant troll thing. And you're like, okay, this isn't as hard as the previous troll that was right at the beginning of the game, and I was not good at it yet. I did encounter, because now that you get these side quests and things, I was trying to do a side quest for one of the blacksmiths, and I did a little bit, and I was like, okay, this is fine, this is like just challenging enough, it's okay. But then I went into a room, and it was like, this guy was way higher level, and I was like, okay, no, we're gonna have to come back later. Except I couldn't actually leave the room, so I had to let him kill me. And then I was like, okay, we're not going in there again. We're gonna just leave, and we'll come back to this after I've leveled up a bit more. But I'm enjoying it. I never played the original ones because I felt like they were just action beat-em-ups, and it's not one of my favorite genres. But this one was supposed to have more of a story and an adventure element to it. And it does, and I'm enjoying it. Like, the script is good, the acting is good, the graphics are great, even for a 5-year-old game. Like, it's fun, and I'm enjoying like exploring. It's not as much exploring as I would normally like. Like, you don't have complete freedom to explore, but it's still not linear, which is better. And it's not too hard so far. Knock wood. Like, I had a little trouble in the beginning, but like, I've done better. And weirdly, like, there was earlier battles that were tricky, but then like when you defeat something big, it's very satisfying. And I just encountered, I can't really spoil this because you've all played it already, but as you're going to the top of the mountain, you encounter a dragon. And then there's this massive boss fight against this massive dragon, and it's completely insane. And I was just like, oh my god. And I'm like whittling away, and it's like taking forever, because I'm not really good at aiming and timing the bombs that you throw. So it was really awkward, but I didn't die. I was able to complete it in my first try. It just took a while. And then I slayed a dragon, and I was like, woohoo! So I was very proud of myself for that one. I'm playing on normal. I've not had to adjust the difficulty yet, and I'm hoping that I don't have to. But we'll see. Who knows? That dragon was kind of a pain, but we'll see what comes next. And that's it. So that's it for this episode. Enjoy your Thanksgiving and stuff your face silly, and I will see you after. Bye!